For me personally, as somebody who doesn't believe in a particular ishta of uh, of an embodiment of the concept of faith, for me, it's always been the concept and the wonder that happens when I think of the universe. It was really why I fell in love with physics and astronomy. Was the first class I had in physics. It was for me the first time that I could see and I could touch reality in a very new way. It could use mathematics to really listen to speak the language of the universe. And for me, that was magical and still is, honestly. And so I want to bring this in. So, in the teachings from the Yoga Sutras, there's this idea that the concept of faith is embodied through the sound Om, which we've chanted many times. Om is like the prescription for how to practice faith in some embodied way. So just the sound Om is like the resonant frequency of the greatest wisdom in the universe in this tradition. It's like the phonetic equivalent of something called the cosmic microwave background. And this is this is what it reminds me of anyway. So there's this idea, or a theory, I should say, and the theory is about how the universe began. And at some point, we can't clarify why or how, but we know approximately when, the universe expanded and grew from essentially nothingness, expanded and grew. And at some point in the universe, atoms and particles started to stick together and make stuff, weird stuff. Our stuff was made then. And so it started to make stuff, really simple atoms. When that happened, there was light and there were atoms basically at the beginning. That was it. When the atoms started to form, they created a bunch of space. And through that space, the light was able to move. And the universe is so incredibly large that 14 billion years later or so, there is still that light from those first times that those atoms stuck together and made some space for the light to pass through. There's still light from that early universe, from that first moment of separation, called the epoch of recombination. And that light from the moment of separation still exists in the universe today. And if we look, and we have looked and mapped the entire sky and essentially deleted all of the stuff that's not stars and galaxies, and when you do that, there is a faint light all through the whole universe, filling all of space and time. And that's what the cosmic microwave background is. And we can today connect with the early moment of time through amazing instrumentation. Because when that light and the atoms came together and the light moved, there's imprints in that light that tell us about that time in history. There were also around that time big bumps and gravitational waves. So like the fabric of space-time itself is a little knotty, that we can kind of see that. And so we look out into the universe and we see from the moment it started to now, which is us, we are the now. It's the same stuff. We are the remnants of supernova that have blown things and atoms into space, starting new stars, starting planets. And so we are not the product of the universe. We are this moment of the universe. And so I want to use that to connect with this idea of faith being a recognition that there is something so far beyond you that it reminds you you're not responsible for everything. That there is things happening that have nothing to do with you that will impact you. And your existence is still important because you are this moment of the universe. And to sort of give you an image of that, I always like to share this. I know Mie knows this very well, but let's enjoy this, fellow astronomers. This is one of my favorite images to share as I do public outreach with astronomy. This is Hubble Deep Field, and the story behind this image is also kind of nice. there's a lot of stories to be told in astronomy history. And this is taken from the Hubble Space Telescope. And the first deep field image was basically the director of the Hubble Space Telescope, so the person who was kind of in charge of things, was given time. So part of his job was he was given time to observe things in the telescope. And so he didn't need extra money to basically fund that time. And one of the things he did is he took the Hubble telescope and pointed it at the darkest point of the sky and took this image. And so the size of this square there, if you imagine holding a dime between your fingers, about the length of your arm away from you, this square is about the size of the eye of John F. Kennedy Jr. So very, very small piece of the sky. And everything you see here, every dot, is a galaxy, not a star. There are only 1, 2, 3, 4 stars, I think, in the image. So the things with little crosses. So if you're seeing this through a little image, it's going to be small. Otherwise, you can Google Hubble Deep Field, and you'll get a sense of this image. So this is the darkest part of the sky, full of galaxies. So this universe, this vastness of the universe, is very big, and at once reminds us how small we are and also how significant we are, because we are one moment in this universe. This moment, everything that has come before us has built into and exists within us, in the atoms and molecules and energies that run through our body. So this is an image of faith from a sort of a astrophysical view, which is sort of how I work through the universe.